Are we here? Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Are we all in the light today? Okay. Are we here? Let me fix this a little bit. Okay. What is the vibe, everybody? How is it going? Today is Wednesday. It's Hump Day, aka Diddy Day. I don't know. I just felt like, ever since, Diddy always got, nicknames for everything. Hump Day, F it Friday, Oodles and Banoodles, Freak Off, whatever you call it, shoes off, kick off, pound town. Um, anyway, so here's the thing. Not too much fireworks today, just a lot of annoyance, okay? Jane Doe is on the stand. I think today is the 5th day. I'm tired of Jane Doe at this point. We're going to get into it. This is also why I do reserve my right to stay in the middle, because yesterday I was for Jane Doe in the prosecution. Now I'm like, get out of here, because in my mind, Jane Doe is batch crazy, okay? I'll tell you a little bit more about that when we get into it, all right? So make sure you guys grab your snacks and relax, because we're about to get into some things. But before we get started, I want to shout out to my homegirl, Duchess Kelly Love. Take it away, Duchess. Take it away, love.
Wire. All my wiggles, bring the tea. I said, all my wiggles, bring the tea. I said, all my wiggles, bring the tea. We go down to the courthouse, bring the tea. Bring the tea. He is never biased. Bring the tea. I said, all my wiggles, bring the tea. I said, all my niggas, bring the tea. All my wiggles, bring the tea. All my wiggles, bring the tea. I want to thank them all. Bring the tea. I want to thank them all. Bring the tea. Oh, he's sassy and classy. Bring the tea. I said, all my wiggles.
Yeah. The tea. Amen, Duchess. Amen. Glory be the honor to God, who's the head of my life. Okay. And this is in honor of Diddy. Okay. We pray to God, then we freak off a little bit later. All right. No, for real. Honestly. Jane Doe hit the stand again. Today was a different Jane. Okay, it was given Jane Ho. Well, I think it's been given that the entire time. Diddy seemed to be going in and out with his opinion and his energy today. I think he's going through the motions. We're at the stage of the game where they're saying the prosecution needs at least until a week from Friday to rest their case. And they'll know once Jane Doe's cross-examination is finished by Tenny Garagos tomorrow, who they're going to eliminate as potential witnesses in the case. They're trying to be done by Wednesday so that the defense can then call their case. That's when I think things will pick back up. But as far as for today, I'm exhausted with Jane Doe. I'm just going to give you the overall thought really quick, how I feel about her, just because it's on my mind right now. You guys know that I try not to give my opinion on this too much, because I know you guys want to know what happened. Here's the story, but I'm going to be honest with you. Yesterday, I felt like Jane Doe really stood 10 toes down, and I like that about her. I like the fact that she was like, I love Diddy. I care about him. I want to be with him. Absolutely. So of course I was with the freak offs. Of course I was into it. I never denied that. I respect the person that does that. The problem then becomes after I'm listening to her testimony, and as we wrap up to the end, and the defense finally, Tenny got her antennas together and she really started to pull it together for me. I'm listening, and everything that Jane Doe was saying is giving, girl, you might have been okay with the freak offs, but the problem is you stopped being okay with it when you felt like Young Miami and Gina was getting more than you. You were okay with a Bottega Veneta bag until Young Miami had Chanel. You were okay with eating at Nobu until you seen him taking the other girls to Poppy's. And so now all of a sudden, you don't want to do the freak offs because you're comparing yourself to the other hoes. But at the end of the day, Jane Doe, you found him hoeing. He was with your girlfriend and you took him from your girlfriend. And then he told you he didn't want to be in a relationship with you, but you knew what your secret weapon was, and it was your body. Because she said on the stand that she knew his body and he knew her body better than anybody else, and that was her superpower. She could freak him like no other woman could. So much so where Diddy called her his crack pipe. But then she no longer wanted to be the crack pipe. Because while the pipes were cracking, the money was spending somewhere else. So so the problem is, Jane Doe, you led as a crack pipe. You didn't lead as a girlfriend. You led as a hoe. So he let the hoe. Now, is Diddy wrong? Absolutely. Is Diddy a monster? Yes. And I just feel like at the end of the day, universal law outside of Jane Doe and all of this stuff in this particular case here, I feel like Diddy has done so many people wrong just throughout the years. And there's a lot of unsolved mysteries. And I just feel like universal law, you cannot get away with literally everything, seemingly, sometimes allegedly, maybe, possibly. We don't know. We're not confirming. But even murder and walk away a free man, because you know how dangerous that could be. So I do feel like he did need to get humbled in this way and exposed, because he berated and belittled and embarrassed a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. It wasn't just his personal life. It was business relationships. It was all different kind of affairs. He felt like he had a God complex. And so that needed to get stripped down. But in this particular case with Jane Doe, I just feel as though she only got tired of being a hoe when she realized other people were hoeing better, working smarter, not harder. And he respected their hoe hustle more than he respected hers. And once she caught wind of that, then everything became a problem. But we're going to get into what kind of happened today. Does that make sense? I think she's crazy because I feel Jane Doe is the type of woman that'll kill you, then cry at your funeral and tell you that she loves you. The problem is this: Diddy has met his match with this one. She's batshit nuts. And she ain't going nowhere. You know why? Because when you get this type of woman that's used to being in the industry or wherever she's at, homie hopping and hoe dropping, hey man, when you get to homie hopper, hoe knocker, and she's seen dollar signs all their life, they're going to fight to stay in the money. They'll take a kick, a beat down, a freak off, and if that don't work, they'll hit you so you hit them, and then they'll sue you. But one thing that hoe is going to do is hoe. Does that make sense? My God. So, my thing is this. In English, in its simplest form, she saw the light. She saw the light. And she wanted to stay in that light. But as the light dimmed or the light moved, she was chasing that light. And when I mean the light, I'm talking about the cash, the money, the money, the Birkin bags, the Chanel bags, Poppy Steakhouse, Turks and Caicos, $10,000 a month rent, gated community, the Met Gala. She was this close. It was just too many bitches, excuse me, in her way. But she was going to make sure that she stayed in that light because she already had a taste of it. She just wanted more and more. And then you put a bunch of women in the mix. Women are already catty. I'm a woman, you a woman. I'm a better woman than you. Why does she get this? And I don't get that. I'm doing the freak off. I'm the crack. This woman just got a jug head. I got a BBL that stink too. You get what I mean? You can put it in the one that wink and the one that stink. You've been doing it. 1 guy, 2 guys, 3 guys, 4. 5 guys, 6 guys, 7 guys more. So how dare you? How dare you buy that Chanel bag and buy me a Bottega? Okay? So now, with that being said, that's just my overall synopsis of the situation. But we're going to break that down and a little bit of what was said today so that you guys understand a little bit where I was coming from with that. Amen? Yes. So, and I'll tell you this, that Jane Doe is a manipulator too. Her and Diddy are the same person. But one thing they both got in common, they like them some big black. Okay, so anyway, so for day 2 with the Jane Doe cross-examination with Tenny Garagos. So she starts off with messages from Diddy and Jane Doe. No, actually, she starts off with messages from Jane Doe and Cabral. Remember, Cabral's the escort that, let me see if I can pull up a picture of Cabral. I feel like you guys need to know this. Hold on. Let me see if I could find it. Because we talk about him a lot. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Oh, yes, I found it. I found the photo for you, baby. Are you guys ready to see this? I'm going to just say this is him allegedly, but I'm assuming this is him, Sly Diggler. I'm going to post it on my Twitter now, and I'm going to show you. This is who I imagine Cabral is because they said his name was Sly Diggler. Yeah, okay. Hold on. Let me see if I can get that up for you. So, give me a second. You guys know we deal in receipts and facts. Hold on. I'm pulling it up for the girls right now. Okay. Give me 1 second. Bam. Here we go. Sly Diggler. Here we are. Do you see that? That's Cabral. The Atlanta guy who attempted to extort her with the video that was in his phone that Diddy took because he was so high off the ketamine. He picked up the wrong phone and it was this nigga phone, aka Sly, aka Chef, aka ATL. So this is who they was watching, and that's who she wanted. Okay? He not really that cute like that. I don't know what that was. So anyway, Jane Doe and Cabral message. Jane Doe text Cabral. Good morning. Good morning, love. How are you feeling? No. He texts her this. Good morning, love. How are you feeling? Had a pretty intense night. That was the roughest night we had. Jane hit the exclamation emojis. She reacted to it. He said, you were taking me so deep. You took every inch of this in your cavity. And she responded, ooh, it's one for the books. So that was Tenny Garagos pretty much saying, okay, so you was in on it. So she's setting the scene right now. So I'm gonna let so you guys know where we're going with this because it jumps. So what she's doing is she's setting the scene to show, and you're gonna receive the while I'm reading. She's setting the scene to show, hey, every time you met Diddy, there wasn't a freak off. You also engaged in the freak offs, liked the freak offs, were entertained by them. But then you started being bothered by the freak offs more so when other women were perceivably getting more out of Diddy than you. That's when you started crashing out. When you thought that you were the main one, or you thought that his promises he was going to keep to you were actually, or the promises he made to you, he was going to actually keep them. When you thought that was the thing, everything was bliss. You didn't start crashing out until he started cashing out, and it wasn't on you. So that's, she didn't outright say that, but the line of questioning is how I interpreted where she was going. Just so you guys know. And so as we're reading this, I want you to follow that line of thinking just to see if we agree or if we don't agree. Okay? So that's what this is giving. And that's why my mind changed about Jane Doe today. So they said, okay, so you talked about the late nights and the length of the freak offs. You said it was about 3 days, right? But New Year's Eve in 2022, you went to Two Star Island. After that party, he came to your hotel room, Cabral, and there was an escort there. Well, Diddy came to your hotel room and brought an escort. After the New Year's party, Diddy went on vacation with Gina. So they did a New Year's party. She went to the hotel. There was an escort there because they left Two Star Island. This is 2022. They left Diddy's house because you can't have escorts at Diddy's house. She went to the hotel, escort is there. Right after that, they have a night, they have a hotel night, a freak off. Then Diddy leaves to a New Year's. After New Year's, Diddy leaves on vacation with Gina. She gets pissed. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you really coming at me sideways over a girl you like? Ignoring me? Sending me to the doctors? I thought that was some interesting stuff. Apparently she had got COVID. I don't know. But why does she have to go to the doctors after the freak off? Anyway, sending me to the doctors? You tell me you love me, I'm your baby, and then you take another on vacation? Diddy told her, because she was insinuating, like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be with you anymore. And Diddy told her, love, you're welcome to leave. Just stay in the light. Okay, so this is something that she said to the government. Her birthday in 2022. She was supposed to, so in 2022, on her birthday, in her testimony to the government, she said she was supposed to have a dinner. She went to the Waldorf hotel, and she was not expecting a freak off. So that's what she was saying. So January 28th, 2022, Diddy text her. What's up? I'll be in LA. Her birthday, mind you, was in February. She says, hey, what's up? Diddy says, I was going to leave February 14. If you want me to stick around, I will. February 5th, she texts back, hey, babe, are you up? Diddy says, yes. She says, it's my birthday weekend, and you ain't showing no love. And then she said, I didn't forget about our things, but I just don't know about that yet. Like, if I didn't forget about the freak off, but I don't know about that yet, right? So she wanted him to show some love. In my mind, you wanted him to spend a little coin. It's no tea. It's my birthday weekend, Daddy. You put him up. Daddy, it's my titties up to here. It's my birthday weekend. You're not showing any love, baby. My thing is this, though. As I'm listening to this, you're talking to him like a hoe. Baby, hey, baby. You didn't text him back till February 5th. He texts you on February 28th. February 5th, hey, baby. It's my birthday. You're not showing me any love. You sound like you're not giving me no money. What's the party? What are we doing? And then she says, so on February 5th, they went to Ocean Prime. After the birthday, Diddy had taken, after her birthday though, Diddy had taken Carisha on a yacht vacation, and she got upset because of that. Now, Diddy had paid for her a restaurant, paid for her, but Diddy wasn't with her on her birthday. Diddy took her to Ocean Prime the week before, and she was like, Gargoyle said, did you have fun on your birthday? She said, no, I didn't have fun. I didn't have fun on my birthday. They said, but he did pay for the restaurant, right? He did. I went out to eat. I went to a restaurant. But it was Ocean Prime. Like, Ocean Prime was an expensive restaurant. It was nice. Like, but the whole thing was, she wanted some money. She wanted Diddy to give her $15,000 so her and her girlfriends can go out and party and eat. Okay? That's what she wanted. She wanted $15K to take her and her friends out so they could have a good time. I can't remember if they said Diddy gave her the money or not, but he ended up paying for the party, paying for everything. So she got the money anyway. But he just wasn't there. But the thing that I didn't like about it was, well, it wasn't that I didn't like, but the thing that I noticed was the fact that he was trying to she was trying to downplay what he did because it wasn't good enough. Because after her birthday, he took Carisha to Turks and Caicos on vacation. So that made her birthday not special to her. But in all actuality, that's what she wanted. She wanted a nice time with her girlfriends. So let's keep going. She writes, Diddy, she says, I see an entire vacation home, a private jet. That's why you were calling me on my birthday, because you know I was going to look crazy. You were trying to call me, ask me what I wanted to do for my birthday, because you knew that you were going to be with her, and you were taking her out of town. You were taking her on PJs. You did all of this for her birthday. So it made Jane Doe's birthday not special. So while Diddy was on the island with Carisha, he had to swiftly leave because Jane Doe called Diddy and told Diddy, nigga, if you don't get your black out of this motherfucking island, we ain't having no freak off. And Diddy came home a day early. So that tells me she was using the freak off as collateral. Oh, so you took her on vacation? There's no freak off. So if he would have took you on vacation, though, there would have been a freak off. You see what I'm saying? On Valentine's Day, they had a freak off set up. She set the freak off up. Red balloons when Diddy got back. You see what I'm saying? Now Diddy got back. She got him back. Carisha's birthday around February 11th, February 12th, something like that. Diddy came back straight to her, and she had red balloons, love balloons, red roses all throughout the place. And they had a freak off. Suggested that he has two men at the same time. She suggested that. Let's do two men at the same time. Diddy was so happy. But they said, but you proposed this idea that you wanted on Valentine's Day. You set this whole Valentine's Day thing up. You just cursed him out. Then you proposed not one, but two niggas on Valentine's Day. But just a few days ago, you said that you wasn't happy with the freak offs, and you just had one for your birthday. Is that true? She said, yes. I said, oh no, she's crazy. She's lost her mind. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's given obsessed with Diddy. That's dangerously crazy. So, and I wrote, she's crazy because you offered up two niggas A month later, another freak off at the Noble Hotel with 2 men. Then she saw Gina on Instagram with the same love bracelet that she had. So Jane got upset because she saw that on Gina. And the problem is she was feeling like, I want to get out of this hotel. You got me at the Nobu. I'm at the Nobu Hotel. I'm at the Nobu restaurant. He just kept me everywhere in Nobu. And Garrett Ghost was like, isn't Nobu expensive? I just wanted to get out of there. He was trying to keep me in there. No, you wanted to go to Poppy Steakhouse. You wanted to go to some other steakhouse. She said it was a fancy name. But these are where other girls are going, or she wanted to one up the other girls. Nobu became not good enough for her. So she was given like a spoiled brat because she was feeling like, oh, I'm just sitting here in the Nobu house now. It's not good enough now because Diddy made her delete all her posts. See, she didn't get to post her food when she was eating because he didn't want nobody to find out he was dealing with her. But Gina got to post her food. Young Miami got to post on Instagram. So she writes, Diddy, give her my love necklace since y'all want to copy and make her delete her now. Make that B delete her fucking stuff. Make that delete her. Talking about Gina. This woman was more mad about the other women than she was a freak off. If there was no other women, she would have freaked off till she fell off, till her thing broke off. She's not finna play me in here now. You're more mad that the tricked. See, when the tricked, then you upset. I'm not saying Diddy is innocent, but ho, you should have known. Next time you'll hoe better. You see, the other hoes got what they wanted. You broke your pussy the first night. Remember, it was sore. You gave it, you said, I got him. Let me have him run 3 niggas through me. And then he'll respect me. That was the problem. So, hold on. So she wanted him to make the other girls delete they shit. Diddy made Jane delete her food post because he didn't want people to find out. So she was upset about that. Then they go, guess they get over that. And this is when the Italian man comes through. Jane, text Diddy. Ooh, I've been having crazy fantasies about you and Leo. Diddy said, ooh, are you horny? Or is it just me? She said, ooh, I'm horny too. Diddy said, see if the Italian is free after we have some alone time. So Diddy wanted to have alone time with her. They said, see, did he want to have alone time with you? Yeah. But see, that's how she would position herself. She would position the pussy first. Who I've been thinking about you and Leo. Who I'm ready to be sore. Ooh, I want a big fat rock hard Italian sausage. I want some provolone cheese in my, I want a big mozzarella stick. So that's how she would lead. And so so Diddy's already got a problem. He's already got issues. So he's already going to, who, you horny? Me too. Any chance he gets to look at a freaking dick, he's going to take it. And she knew that. April 13th, 2022, another hotel night. April 14th, no hotel night. So now we start getting to saying, oh, well, you had it. So you did a hotel night and then you didn't. But according to Jane's story, every time you saw Diddy, he made you do a hotel night. Well, now we have two instances where he actually wanted to give you that alone time that you were ever so craving. Remember, her whole thing is, I just wanted to be alone with him. I just wanted to be with him. And why he wouldn't give me the things that he gave the other women. Well, he did give you that alone time, but he also didn't respect you like he respected those other women because you didn't respect yourself. You didn't respect yourself. You saw that man with power. You saw that man with money. And you didn't have enough self-respect and dignity to at least hold out a little bit. And first of all, let's be clear. A lot of women think it's cute and a lot of people don't have no morals. But girl, the man didn't respect you because you was going way too easy. You already banged his friend before. And he don't like your baby daddy. Third of all, he was talking to your friend. And then he was talking to you and you went for it. So there's already no loyalty. Then the arrogance in him, y'all going dollar for dollar with your baby daddy and him. So you're a spiteful. So then he's gonna smut you out. There was no chance in hell he was gonna wife you up when he don't like your baby daddy. He's gonna hold you out and then take a picture with your baby and send it to your baby father. Then you slept with the homie. And then he already had warning when he told people about you because he was talking about you. Because if you remember in the last week we were talking, when she slammed his head against the marble and he looked up and said, "You crazy. Everybody warned me about you." So in the industry circles that you run in, everybody says she's a hoe and she going. You just got to make sure you know that she's a lunatic. This is why the other nigga left her. And the other nigga, she bad, she freaky, she nasty, she's crack, but she's crazy too. And he literally said, everybody said you're crazy. So let's get into it. So they're painting this picture, and I'm like, oh, okay. Now it's making sense. And after hearing her up there for a week, I'm like, okay, hold on. There's a few pieces that's been missing here. Hold on, Kia, hold on. We're going to keep getting into it. And so she ultimately seen Diddy many times and no hotel nights. So they went through a list of dates. April 20th, April 21, April 20. It was like back to back to back. So Garagos said, was there a hotel night this night when you guys were together? No. This night, it was at least 5 dates where she was with Diddy and they didn't have a hotel night. That was the first time we heard that. Because when she was on the side of the prosecution, let her tell it, every time she seen Diddy, she was being freaked off. And that just wasn't true. But what she would do is, instead of admitting that, and this is why I was like, yeah, I can't with her no more. She would all of a sudden not remember, or it could, wait, can I see, can you show me? I don't remember. I'm not sure. And see, I don't like when they do that. Because when you start getting caught up on the stand, then you start acting like you don't remember. But you remember every other freak off and everything else, but you don't remember the time where the man gave you what you so desperately wanted, was his attention, was his love. If that's all I've ever wanted from an individual and I didn't get it, and I loved them and I yearned for them so much, I'm going to remember those times because those are the times that I've always wanted. But see, it's not about that. I'm mad at you, nigga, because you didn't choose me as the number one. So I'm going to sit on this stand and I'm going to make you sweat, you black mother. That's what that's giving me. Because how do you remember everything else? You remember what he bought for every other hoe. You remember every other freak off. But you don't remember the times that you wanted most? You don't remember those? They have to refresh your memory on that stuff? Okay. Okay. So let's continue. June 2022, Jane. I want a good little vibe. How about you? She texts Diddy. Diddy says, a night? She said, a night like what? He said, you plan something for me. She said, I know what you want, baby, but I'm not in the mood. Diddy said, all good. Surprised me with a freak off role play. So the question was, did y'all actually have a freak off that night? She said, well, we had a movie night. So you didn't have a freak off. Well, I mean, we still have to do the role play, the freak off role play. But that's not the point. The point was you were always saying that he always made you have with another man. The freak off role play, you knew he had a corn addiction. You bought him a portable television so you guys could watch the movies together. So, right. You didn't have a freak off. Y'all set and he surprised you. You surprised him. He asked you to send him some nasty videos. He didn't make you do it. You said you, and the point that they made was you told him you weren't in the mood when he asked you for a freak night. You told him that you weren't in the mood. He said, no pressure. He didn't throw the rent over your head. He didn't ask you to break up. He said, cool, just send me some freaky videos. Why you didn't say that before? She never said that before. So now I'm listening. So there was no hotel night or no freak off. They just watched some porn together. At this point, it's been 2 months since their last freak off. So they went 2 whole months with seeing each other back to back and no freak off. And she didn't remember that? In 2022? This is before, we're in 2022. Cassie's lawsuit is in 2023, November. We're in 2022 right now. Diddy text, oh, I'm just jerking my, thinking about how nasty you gonna be. She texts him back, ooh, I'm so excited to see you and get so freaky, daddy. Jane said, what are you thinking about? Diddy said, call Italiano or Paul is free. And she hearted the message like, yes, we can do Paul. That was July 2022. 3 months. Then they finally did a freak off. So they went 3 months and did a freak off. So the point that she's making is like, girl, you didn't do freak offs all the time. And then when he suggested them, you were always with him. You were always with it when you felt like you had him in your orbit. You weren't really mad until another woman came into play. Then the freak off became a problem. You weren't really upset until Cassie got the lawsuit and you saw the dollar amount, or you heard that if she was asking for a big payout, then you started feeling stressed. The only thing is, though, and we'll talk about this later, she was documenting notes about not wanting to do the freak offs and wanting to send that to Diddy prior to. Or was she doing that in 2024? I think she was doing that in 2024 after. But the thing was, she wasn't, quote, according to her, she wasn't trying to seek legal counsel. She didn't know that she was going to be subpoenaed in court or any of that stuff yet. But she's just started documenting her stuff. But there was no reason. She wasn't going to take it anywhere. She had no intention to file a lawsuit. However, people feel like she got inspired by Cassie's lawsuit to then all of a sudden be so pressed because she was watching Cassie's lawsuit very vigorously. So, but let's continue. And this is what got me. When they were getting ready for the freak off, she went and got the items. She said, I'll go to the store, baby. I'll go get the stuff. They said, well, what would you buy? Shorts. She bought a pair for Diddy and she bought a pair for Paul. They said, well, why did you buy the shorts? Her excuse was, well, I would buy the shorts for the guys because it was so hard to find them attractive. I didn't want them to just come in their regular clothes. So it was hard to find all these different men attractive. So I would have to buy them the shorts so I could find them attractive. So now there's a freak off aesthetic. And now you done got so freaked out. Now you want to see the men bang you in certain type of shorts, but you trying to lie to us and tell us that shorts made. Let me tell you something. Them shorts ain't. When he popped that water molly in your mouth and you sat on pause like that, you didn't give a about no shorts, oh. When you sat on Paul like that, them shorts was not on. When you rolled Paul like that, did you give a fuck about her shorts? You wanted to see that oil. More oil, more oil. Give a fuck about no shorts. They're going to be on for 10 minutes. You better heat that oil up and bitch and wash it. She talking about she needed them to walk in and have matching shorts. So they were sitting there in matching short sets. What kind of kinky? So, not Diddy Dukes. So she would buy Diddy Dukes for the men. And so they would walk around in matching Diddy Dukes. And when they'd have on the Diddy Dukes, it would turn her on. Okay? Now, she would also buy rhino pills. If you don't know what a rhino pill is, look it up. It gives you a big. And they said, if you didn't want to be hurting and didn't really want to do it, why would you be buying rhino pills? She said, because it would be take so much energy to get the men up and get them hard. So I almost wanted them to come hard. They get hard faster. So now you become a gynecologist. a cockologist. You get what I'm saying? Now you've gotten to the science of a cock and a cock holder. Diddy Dukes and cockeyed and cock holders. She prance around in stripper heels, stripper clothes. Ooh, and get this. Wait a minute. Then, then she said she got the whip. The whip. So she was in there whipping ass. Oh, that hurt. She would buy the whips and they would whip each other in Diddy Dukes and Rhino pills and baby oil and Astroglide in red lights. And she went and bought all this. She went and bought all of this stuff. Hold on. Because I know who told you to go buy a whip. Who told you to go buy a whip? Here we are in July. Sometime in July. This is after the freak off. Morning, baby. Had a great time with you. Diddy said, want to go to dinner? Pack a freak off bag just in case. They said, what's a freak off bag? You know, all the items that I just listed. So he took her to dinner. They said, did you have a freak off? No, we didn't. Oh, you didn't? Okay. That was July 23rd. They didn't do a freak off. Jane Doe text Diddy. What are you doing, baby? I'm horny. Diddy said, hell yeah. Can you do it with Paul right now? No, he said, can you do it? I'm with Paul right now. We're about to work out. So if you remember Paul was the personal trainer turned personal freak. So as they're lifting and building the testosterone, doing the deadlifts and the bench press, Diddy is sitting back doing the bench press with Paul's nuts in his face. 1, 2, 3, 4. And all he can think of is a nasty baby oil freak off and the musty nuts. 6, 7, 8. You know what I'm saying? And so, hold on, I gotta get up. I don't know about you, but the gym really can get you feeling some type of way. So imagine you are at the gym working out. Gym makes people horny anyway. So your trainer is your trainer. Imagine that, and they got a nice body, and then you get to go and look at his dick later. You know, some people, that's people's dream sometimes. Oh, I got a fine personal trainer. That body look good. I sure wish I could see him naked. Well, in Diddy's case, you get to play with the dumbbells and the dumb balls. You know the trainers, they wear the tight stuff, the muscles popping them out, the nuts is crunched to the front. And then you guys get to go release an oil So all that stuff you was thinking about while you was lifting the weights, looking at Paul's sticking ass, now you get to see it in real time. Diddy knew what he was doing. Wow. So she responds to Diddy and says, hair's up. Meaning, baby, my hair is in a ponytail and I'm ready to be pulled back and dogged out. Ain't nothing in the way. Pull me by my ponytail and double stuff me. Tear me up. And she said, hair up and ready. They said, do you want to hit up Italiano too? She said, no. Okay, we'll just use Paul. She didn't like the Italian. 2022, after the hotel night, she spent several days at Diddy's house. No freak off. She spent several days at his house after that. August 19th, 2022, they had another freak off with Paul. August 31st, she sent Diddy a message, very heartfelt message, telling Diddy that she's showing gratitude and thanking him for being a part of her life and saying that she will always be by his side no matter what. Now, this is after 2 freak offs. Now she's feeling good about her relationship. You see what I'm saying? We're not talking about no other women. So, and here's the thing. You're doing freak offs and you're not doing freak offs. So this is a part of y'all life. This is what y'all do. So you're not tripping because some days you're on and some days you're off. You liked this. This was your dynamic. September 23rd, she was in the studio with Diddy. I think that was when he was making the Love album. September 24th, there was a freak off. The next day, there was no freak off. Where she can't remember if there was a freak off or not. Because they're like, okay, so you did some, you didn't do some. The point they're trying to make is, girl, you wasn't that pressed about the freak offs. You would do them, you would set them up, you would be excited about them. (2023) now, we're here. Jane's birthday. You knew Diddy was dating Young Miami, didn't you? Yes. Oh, this is when she asked him for the 15K. She said, hey, baby, February 3rd, can you send me something for my birthday? So I can lock it in with my friends? Diddy paid for a private room and a restaurant. She wanted Diddy to send her money for her birthday dinner, asked for $15,000 for her and her 13 friends. She downplayed it like that wasn't good enough. She was like, he just paid for a private room in a restaurant. See, that triggers me because it's like, oh, you're not even grateful. But her thing is, I let all these men screw me for you, and all I get is a private dinner in a room. Well, girl, yes. You don't respect yourself. Where's your head at? Now I'm like, girl, you 35 years old. You was 35. Like, you let all these niggas screw you, and you thought he was gonna wife you? On top of the secret society niggas, you got industry niggas hidden. Everybody know you're a runner. Not being your girlfriend, your boyfriend. What? But I'll take you on a dinner. Sure, whatever. Money's not an issue for me. You know what I'm saying? Money wasn't the problem. This is when she starts saying, I don't want Nobu. I'm in the Nobu hotel. I'm at the Nobu bar. And I'm at the Nobu restaurant. Put a one in the chat if you would hate being at the Nobu hotel, put up. At the Nobu restaurant, put up. And having to go to the Nobu bar, put up. I sure wish I could find me a nigga to take me to the Nobu. All I get when I ask for something like that is a Nobu. Does that make sense? So I just feel like, girl, you were giving that because you felt you were comparing yourself to other people. And she was being very, 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 very ungrateful. So let's keep going. I said she wanted to go to Poppy's Steakhouse or Carbon. She wanted to either go to Poppy's Steakhouse or Carbon. She said, he's got me locked up in here. He doesn't want me to be seen by anybody. I want to go to Poppy's. I want to go to Carbon. She wanted to go where the cameras were at. She wanted to post on Instagram. Was this about you being the girlfriend? Was this just about being a flexer and just feeling? She wanted to feel like the main girl, like, look, I'm with the rich nigga. It's me. It's my Instagram moment. But girl, that doesn't come across like you love me. That comes across like, girl, you think you're gonna fuck your way in here and fuck your way to my pocketbook, and then you're gonna get to be like Cassie or something. You're busy looking at Young Miami wanting to flex on her, wanting to flex on your baby daddy, wanting to be chose. But let me tell you something, young lady. No nigga's gonna choose you if the first day they meet you, you let two niggas run inside you. Niggas are gonna do it because niggas are niggas. But they're not gonna respect you. And then you ain't got no money. The difference between her and Young Miami, at least, even if Young Miami was doing it, whatever, Young Miami still had a name for herself and still didn't need his $10,000 a month. First of all, Diddy was already playing with you with the $10,000. What? He was giving $10,000 to escorts. You only worth $10,000, ho? So he didn't even really think that you was really worth nothing. You didn't come to the table with much, so he didn't respect you. And you didn't respect yourself. For $10,000 and a trip to Bahama and an ecstasy pill, you let 5 niggas run it. And you 35 years old. You ain't no spring chicken that's just fresh out the egg. You been in the game. Girl, no. Why you didn't see that coming? So Diddy got all this power, all this, and girl, if anything, he would have been put me in position, get me a business, make me a model, put the money into that, and give me some cat. Like letting 4 niggas run it. Day 1, day 2. If I'm Diddy and I'm already freaky like that, and I'm already freaked out, I'm $10,000. That's it. Cool. Let's freak her out. She's going. And I get to look at all these different niggas and she going 10-3. She going round for round, pill for pill, ketamine for ketamine, bump for bump. She's a cheap date. What people with money will do when they can sense the desperation, when they can sense the opportunistic on you, They'll dangle it. They may throw you a little. They don't respect you. They don't value you. But just like you think you're using them, they're going to use you back. And she didn't realize she thought she was using him and he was using her. So let's keep going. Diddy wanted her to be in the Noble, but it sounds like she wanted something else. She said, do you remember the prosecution? Do you remember when Diddy got a photographer and took pictures of you and Diddy for your birthday at the restaurant? Yeah, I mean, they even pulled the picture up. They was like, yeah, he took a picture, whatever. I mean, it wasn't. And I wrote, she's trying to downplay it, like what he does is not enough. Seems like she compares herself and competes with the other women because nothing he did was good enough if she didn't see it as bigger than what other girls got. She said, they said your circumstances where you were with. No. She said to Diddy, if you don't get your ass back from being with Young Miami, there's no freak off. Do you remember saying that? She said, yeah. So they went to the Noble Hotel. And she said, I'm so excited to see now the entertainment you have. That's what Diddy said at the Noble Hotel. I'm so excited to see the entertainment you have for me. She said, when I say I don't know, it's me trying to find the words to explain. Basically, if I said no, he's going to have an attitude. So Diddy was basically saying, hey, I can't wait to see what kind of freak off you're going to have for me set up at the Noble Hotel. And she said, okay, I'll do it. They said, well, why do you keep saying you're going to do it? And she was saying, well, I don't know why I keep saying that, but I'm trying to explain to you. The issue is if I said no, he would have an attitude. I feel like it got to a point that he would have an attitude because, girl, you started saying no when you started feeling some type of way. But it wasn't because you wasn't that kind of girl. You were that kind of girl, but you thought you deserved more. But at the time when you realized that you wanted more, you had already done so much that you had already been placed in that space for him. So yes, he had an attitude because it's like, why are you changing now? This was our formula. This was our routine. This was how we vibed. You knew that I was dating other women. Why are you trying to go out of bounds now? You knew that you were the freak off hoe. What are you doing? When I come to you, I want to see Paul's dick. When I come to you, I want to see Cabal's balls. When I come to you, I want to see Italiano sausage. That's what I want. I'm paying for your rent for that. I'm second in planning finishings and dibbling-dabbling with the sloppy seconds through you. I'm living out my cuckolder fantasy through you. I am you. When I'm with you in my mind, when you're riding Paul and Peter, when you're on their weeders, I'm imagining that being me. I'm the bad bitch in the middle. You are my alter ego. Why don't you understand that? This is why I want your nipples pierced. This is why I want you dressed like this. This is why I want you oiled up. This is why I want your nails white. This is why I want your hair in a ponytail, because that is what I would be doing. I'm dressing you as if you were me. or I were you taking Paul's walls. Or, well, actually, Paul was taking my walls. What don't you understand? Bitch, you are a human avatar, and I am living vicariously through you. And make sure you don't waste those finishings. Does that make sense? Now, okay. So Diddy made her, so she made Diddy buy her a Van Cleef. I want a Van Cleef. So he bought her a Van Cleef necklace or bracelet, and she got in her lingerie and she took a photo in it. They said, you did that, right? Then she said, I dressed in a gift that was given to me. I was given a pill all right before entertainers came. That's what that was. You were excited to receive the gift. Right? You said that. I was excited to see Sean. Girl, you was excited to see the gift. You was excited for the night because you were dressed in lingerie. You had your Van Cleef on. You took pictures in it. I was given a gift. I was high. I was given a pill. So she started downplaying. I was given the Van Cleef, but I was also given ecstasy. It's like, but you took it all. You never had a problem saying no. And what I've learned about her, she's very sassy. That's the thing I know. Like, she's very like argumentative. So if you didn't want to do it, she don't have a problem saying I don't want to do it. She's bitchy. She's rude. Like she has an attitude. So listen, that day she called Cabral at 2:40 a.m. They said, why did you call Cabral? She said, I was high. So you just called Cabral and you was high and you didn't. So you wanted a freak off. I said the defense is getting her together. Oops. And then I seen the juror was kind of gagging. There was a juror that kind of gave like, girl. I'm not going to tell you what juror it was, but one of the jurors was over there kind of like, I don't think that there's a juror up there that I think is Team Diddy. I'm just going to say that right now. There's a juror that I think is Team Diddy. I think it's at least one. I think I know there's one juror that's Team Diddy, and there's one in a possible that I could tell that is Team Cassie. It's no shade. I'll just say this. The juror that I think, no, I can't even say that. I'm not going to say that. I wrote Jane Doe got clocked. Tenny is clocking Jane Doe. Defense gathered Jane Doe about setting up a full freak off with Cabral at 2:40 in the morning. It was her idea. When it comes down to Crazyy, it's starting to feel like when she sees other girls getting things, all of a sudden she doesn't want to do freak offs anymore. Because it was getting back to, she was upset about Crazyy and Crazyy being at Chanel and all of this stuff. She says she goes along with everything that Diddy does. Diddy also reached out to Cabral because Diddy would be, she said she reached out to Cabral because Diddy would be agitated if she didn't. February 10th after her birthday, I loved and appreciated every detail you put into my birthday, Diddy. But the whole thing is, she had a freak off for her birthday. And she said, I loved everything I said I loved and appreciated everything he did for me. They're like, but you had a freak off for that birthday, remember? And you hated freak offs. And you were so tormented by the freak offs. So why did you text him that? She was like, I'm saying I loved everything that he did for me outside of that. It's like, all right, girl. Okay. Now you guys see why I'm like, okay, she's a bit of a joke. But she stopped talking to him after she seen him with Young Miami and Turks and Caicos. Then we went to break, came back. August 2023, they had a movie night. It was off the chain. She loved that. She loved it. I wrote, this woman is crazy. Diddy has met his match. She's dangerously crazy, borderline obsessed with him. That was when she was planning the All-Star Freakout. I also wrote, I don't know, this was just terrorizing me as I was sitting in court. I said, it's the slew of nicknames for me just throughout Diddy's whole existence. I mean, it's a little old school for me. It's like, this is an old school cat. You just got a nickname for everything. And I just kind of started jogging down just throughout this whole court case, just all the different names he had for shit. And I'm sure that there's more. But I'm just like, nigga, this was a whole science. This is like some old suck the gristle off the bone kind of shit. You an old school cat, huh? You gonna make sure everything is neat and tight. You are, or like, you know, us, we just be like, look, we're gonna go smash, we're gonna go kick it. This nigga got dates and times and moods and settings and lighting, and you know, this is a real deal. He's got nicknames for every fucking thing. So a couple of things, All-Star Nights. What the fuck is All-Star Nights? Well, you get all the fucking freaks with the biggest and then the freak, and they all just come and just terrorize her. You got fucking Fridays. What is a fucking Friday? Where you just don't give up on Friday. Then you got the movie nights. And that's when you put the big freak off on the freak off DVD and you play fantasy role play until you can get the escort and you pick out. It's almost like you're going shopping for the next escort. Then you have the hotel nights. That's when the lights turn red. Then if you're in the early 2000s or the 2010s, they were called freak offs. A freak off is crazy. Like, just listen to a freak off. That means it's like, this is like a marathon, like a freak off, like a standoff, like this is mayhem. I mean, we don't get, this is like a competition, like this is like a marathon, a freak off. Everything just, we going off. Bert and Ernie. The trifecta, who can forget that? With Kobe, Shaq, Jordan. Stay in the light. We just staying in light. What does that mean? We got ATL, Chef, Italiano. Just got names. Then the crack pipe. I mean, wow. He's got a cold word for every fucking thing. This is a real old school cat. You know what I'm saying? So I just was writing it down because I was like, oh, this is terrorizing me. He got names for every little thing. So I wrote, she's pissed that Diddy went on a yacht trip with Young Miami and fucked her. Because that's when they talked about, you know, Diddy bragged about for 48 hours. She was upset because she wanted to be on that trip, but she saw that podcast where Young Miami and Diddy, where Diddy was talking about Young Miami on vacation. Jane is saying she's upset because he lied to her about fucking for 48 hours straight. And you needed my videos to show that. So let me break that down to you. So this is where the defense was saying, hey, so you're mad because he didn't take you and you wanted to go on that trip. No, I'm mad because he lied about having sex with her. You're not mad about that. Maybe a little bit, but you always felt like you better than any hoe that he's with. You said that already. So that's not what you thought. You are mad because the money spendeth. You don't care that he had sex with somebody else. You sit here and bang 10 niggas in one night while he watch. You know he had other girls. You knew they was banging him. He wouldn't even, the thing is, Diddy wouldn't even really banging you like that. Yes, come on, Diddy Dukes. Thank you, OG. I love you. All right. Thanks for the $99 super chat in the building. You guys know I don't do a lot of super chat shout outs, but I got to shout out to my girl. She does her thing. That's one of my lead moderators. So you respect her. She's been here for a long time. Do what she says. Okay. So anyway, she was really mad because he took her on a vacation and then he used her as a hoe. Because he was telling her, send me something, send me something. He was high. But he was high with Young Miami. I ain't gonna say it because I know she don't like me and she might be trying to sue me. So I'm just like, girl, I ain't gonna speak that she ain't trying to sue me, but I'm just saying, I ain't gonna say that she was high, but we know Diddy was high. We know everybody around Diddy was high. So 1 + 1 = 2. I don't know. You just think what you think and do what you do. You get in my opinion, I feel like, it could woo. So I don't know. I just feel like she said that she felt like Diddy was high and he wanted to get the video of their freak off. And so he could watch it with her. So I don't know what him and Young Miami was doing. She said they said, so you were mad. She said it was a pattern for Diddy to text me for videos in the middle of him having a night with another hoe. I wrote, she's crazy. She said she didn't have any chemistry with escorts. There was a time that there was an escort that came over in New York. She had no chemistry with them, but they still paid him. Hey, baby, what are you doing? Nothing. My body is aching. I just got COVID. This is what Diddy gave her COVID. Diddy said, I'm in DC. I hope you're feeling better. She says, it's okay, baby. I really wanted to see you. I'll talk to you later. I'm going to stock up on my sick stuff. So she was sick and she was like, I'm just chilling. The prosecution asked her, do you remember telling the government that when you saw Cabral, you were more freer and you were going at it and you were going to let him do whatever he wanted to do to you because you felt comfortable and Diddy was happy and you were happy because Diddy was happy? Do you remember that? Saying that when you got with Cabral, you was going to let him tear you up? For those that don't know who Cabral is, this is Cabral, okay? Let's change the picture. She said I was so high. After that, they revealed a letter, long letter, where she was telling Diddy how no one could compare to him and how he was one of the best things that ever came into her life. Oh, yeah. She was a nut job. For sure. Then she brought Cabral to Miami. Now we're in October. Watch this. She saw Gina at the audition with Puff. Diddy texts her, hey, babe, let's meet up. Jane texts, ugh, no, thank you. Diddy said, I need you. She said, why would you bring that trash back in? Talking about Gina. You're with what you need. Diddy said, whatever. Just let me know what you want to do. She said, I'm not talking to you after you dipped into that trash and brought it back and brought back toxicity. I wanted to protect my peace. We were doing so good. But then you brought this toxic cycle back into our lives. That bad energy goes to you, then it goes on to me. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. And then you'll learn she started not wanting the freak offs no more. They were doing so good. Then Diddy, then Gina, let me tell you something. Gina terrorizes all of them. Gina terrorized Young Miami. Gina terrorized Jane. Gina terrorized Cassie. Gina been around for a minute, and Gina's still standing because she's somewhere high, and they can't even find Gina. She was supposed to be juror number 3. I mean, not juror number 3, witness number 3. Diddy says, girl, stop. You know I don't feed into this bullshit. You bring me peace. That's what Diddy said. She talking about the only thing that brings, and then she said, the only thing that brings you peace are hotel nights. You don't love me. The next day, Diddy wanted to see her. Jane admits she didn't want to see him because he was with Gina. But they were supposed to do a 30 days with no drugs, but they were doing a sobriety party. And that was the day she did a sobriety party with 3 different niggas. She went to a hotel. Then they had the sobriety party freak off. Right after she did all that, that's when she had 3 niggas for 12 to 18 hours. They said, so you regret doing that? She said, I resent it. They said, you regret it. No, I resent him for doing the sobriety party. You wanted to break up with him because of Gina, right? Yes. I know. She said, I wanted to break up with him many times. No, girl, you wanted to break up with him because of Gina. After the sobriety party, she tried to break up with Diddy again. She ended up going to his house. Diddy was depressed. She was depressed. She stayed the night with no freak off. So then they said, I want to just play this video. And so, you know me, I was trying to look at the video because they're not showing it in the evidence. So I was in the courtroom and I was trying to peek through I was trying to look at the video so I was able to see the video. Because they played it for the parties involved and for the juries, but you could see it a little bit on the screen. So I'm squinting. And Diddy in there, and he talking about, we fell into a dark hole. Mind you, he holding her from the back. So he holding her like this, and she sitting there like this, and he got his glasses on. He's like, hey, you know what, baby? I needed you, you needed me. He kissing her. He doing all this. I needed you, you needed me. I was going through a dark hole. You saved me. I was depressed. And she, baby, baby, you saved me too. And I didn't even know it. And it was just like, I just feel like it's just so different with us. And he kissed her. And she, yeah, baby. And, I love you. And no, you're so funny, baby. And I said, I really was. I said, this is a really cute video because he was telling her he loved her and everything. It was really a cute video. She was freaking happy. because he gave it to her. You know what I mean? And it was on video. Now, I could be reaching as to motive, but it still happened. Now, the Asian baby mama was there. I feel like she Asian. You know, the loves mama, the new baby. I feel like I could be having it wrong, but I feel like she was there today. They say that, you know, they be trying to say that she's the cyber security lady. But anyway, she was there in the courtroom. After that video played, though, she got up and walked out the courtroom. I don't know if she had to go to the bathroom. It was just the timing, but she got up and left. She came back eventually, but she had to excuse herself for a moment because it was a very intimate video. So she got up and walked out. So now here we are, November 2023. There was a younger girl, I forget her name, but Diddy went to London. You guys sent me the video of her. Diddy took her to London. Do you remember that? She got upset. They also asked, do you remember that Diddy would tell you that Cassie is the love of his life? She said she kind of remembered that. He said, do you remember telling the government that when Diddy would get high, he would write Cassie love letters? She said, I don't remember, but it could be true. Do you remember saying that Gina tormented Cassie and Diddy's relationship? Yes, she remembered that. So she hates Gina. And then the court went for a sidebar and we never came back. It abruptly ended. I think it just ended because we weren't going to finish today. So that was it. Tomorrow, I think there's going to be Andre Lamont on the stand, Jonathan Perez, and a summary witness, Anaye Sanker. I don't know any of these people, so we'll see. But a little bit of fireworks started at the end between the government and the defense. So before we get started there, the government is trying to, finish by next Friday or the latest Wednesday. The defense didn't want to tell what they're going to do with their case yet. Long story short, the government feels some type of way because they feel as though that when Garagos asked about the immunity to Jane, she was almost trying to plant a seed because she said, who has immunity? Who gave you immunity? Do you have immunity? Yes, I have immunity. And who determines if you lie? It's the prosecution. So the prosecution is saying, okay, well, you watched Cass. The defense is basically trying to say, like, all right, girl, so you didn't feel this way until you saw Cassie's lawsuit. But then, two, you will get on this stand and change your story because you have immunity. And there's no way to prove that you're lying or not lying, but it's up to the government to determine if you are lying. So you would say what you think that they want you to hear. And so there are these text message iPhone notes that Jane would write in her notes in regards to the freak offs and not want to do the freak offs and feeling frustrated with Diddy, right? And that goes to her state of mind, which the government is trying to prove, but the defense does not want those to be admitted as evidence. But the prosecution is saying those should be admitted as evidence because the government, the defense has opened the door of doubt with the jury, basically alluding to the fact that because she has immunity, she has a reason to lie on the stand because she feels like she needs to say what the government wants her to say. But in fact, before this lawsuit, or before she knew that she was going to be in court, she had been keeping notes that go to what Cassie was saying too. But the problem was the notes were being written in 2024. Cassie's lawsuit was in 2023, but they were saying, well, so the judge was like, well, why does it even matter? Because Cassie's lawsuit was in 2023. These notes that you're trying to admit was written in 2024. So wouldn't that just be more of a pile-on situation? She said no. The prosecution stood up and said no, because the defense never alluded to the fact that she felt like this woman was trying to start a civil case. This woman was using these notes to go to legal. So because the defense never brought that up or never even crossed her on that, there was nowhere in the thought process for anybody that she was taking these notes with the intent to sue him for money, or she was taking these notes with the intent to go and, report it to the police. So for that, it shouldn't matter that she started keeping these notes in 2024, because the defense didn't think anything of it. They didn't think that she was doing that all of a sudden to start a lawsuit, because they would have questioned her on that. But these notes do, in fact, corroborate what Cassie was saying. And some of these notes were before Cassie's lawsuit. So they should be admitted into evidence. So it kind of got heated at the end. So the judge is going to look over that and decide tomorrow what's going to happen. So I'll let you guys know. It's going to be some tea. Have y'all donated to the More Oil Fund? Have y'all subscribed to the channel? Are y'all having a good time here? Somebody just said they missed the whole live. That's because you didn't subscribe or turn your notifications on, or you didn't follow me on Twitter, or you didn't follow me on Instagram. This is why you guys missed the lives, because you guys are lazy. I post them everywhere. And if you're a member, you get notified. So if you're missing the lives at this point, you're just not listening to me when I call the action, when I do the call of action. Also, I want to say we are growing on Lux Life channel. You guys are starting your manifestation cleanses again. I'm seeing you guys are joining the Discord. I'm proud of each and every one of you guys that have got your manifestation books. I'm seeing you guys are going through the 60-day cleanse. I'm proud of you guys for doing your 60-day cleanse. Those of you guys that are starting it on Lux Life, Armand Wiggins Lux Life channel. Every day, today 60 is on there. So follow those links. Oh, and here's the to the book. And if somebody could put the Lux Life YouTube channel in here, that'd be great. So shout out to that. You can just type in Armand Wiggins Lux Life. I'm gonna post it here. And then here's the YouTube channel. Oops, it's Lux Life. I spelled it wrong. But here's the channel. Okay. Lux Life Manifestations. Let me show it to you guys on here, because I'm being lazy. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go to YouTube. I'm tired, child. Hold on. Here we go. So for those that want to see the channel, here it is. So we have the 60-day cleanse videos here, all the way down from day 1 to day 60. So feel free to go through the cleanse. I go through it every day. We have a good time over there. So Shout out to all the new people that subscribed. Shout out to the people that got their books. Shout out to people that are doing their personal development. It keeps you out of situations like this. All right? It's our mental health, and we setting new goals. And a lot of you guys don't realize that you're here because I manifested you guys all here at the top of the year. Everything that you guys see that I'm doing, I wrote the book, I did the 60 days, and it really changed my life this year. But I've been doing it for the last 2-3 years. And every year we level up. And so the manifestations, you guys are literally watching the manifestations happen from the work we put in at the top of the year. So again, it really works if you commit. I appreciate you guys all. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you tomorrow.